This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
No student is required to agree with the 10 Commandments.
To push them closer and closer to collapse.
Kids on their screens way too much. So if we can go from a field of screens to a field of dreams like this, it's really good for the community.
Every time somebody was baptized, there was a shout and cheers of joy.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. Showdown. The U.S. Supreme Court has been asked to hear a landmark case on a Texas law that requires the 10 Commandments be posted in schools. The temperature is hot on both sides of the aisle.
My kids are young and they don't have the concept of murder and
adultery.
Texas has chosen to not erase history, but to acknowledge it.
What is the purpose of plastering the 10 Commandments in every single classroom?
Today, the U.S. Supreme Court justices said they will decide in the coming months whether or not they'll take up the case. One set of parents tried to sue and lost the first round. Now they've added more parents to the lawsuit.
This is presenting the beliefs of one religion as rules on the wall, and I think that implies that any kids who believe something different are following the right thing at school.
Jonathan Covey with Texas Values says Christian values are historically accurate American history. He says kids are presented with many things they may not agree with in textbooks and from teachers while at school.
No student is required to pray. No student is required to profess faith. No student is required to agree with the 10 Commandments. Seeing something is not the same as being coerced to believe something.
3 states currently require the 10 Commandments be displayed. More than a dozen other states have proposed similar legislation. U.S. envoy Jared Kushner has landed in Israel to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Today, the Memorandum of Understanding expired with Iran with no deal in place.
It doesn't look like we're close at all.
Mick Mulroy is a former Defense Department official.
In fact, the situation now is almost entirely focused on the Strait of Hormuz, which of course wasn't an issue before the war started, but now it has become not only the main focal point, but basically the primary discussion at large.
Kushner is hoping to persuade the prime minister that the Trump-commissioned Board of Peace has a good plan for Israel after holding rare talks in Egypt with the Hamas chief. Heritage Foundation's Victoria Coates told Fox News the real war is just beginning for the nation of Iran.
We are going to push them closer and closer to collapse, and then what's left of their leadership will have to make a decision. Do they want to, as the former Supreme Leader said, drain the poison chalice, or do they want to actually come to a reasonable deal and preserve something?
7 people are dead after record flooding this past weekend in Indiana.
I'm going to lose everything, and I just paid my house off.
Trying to put stuff up on tables, chairs, and then these guys showed up to rescue me, and I had to go.
ABC's Alex Perez is in Carmel.
Emergency crews conducting dozens of water rescues. At one point, at least 150,000 without power. Streets turned to rivers, roads washed away.
To the west, Lala has been downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm just off the coast of Hawaii, but not before dumping 3 feet of rain. CBS News is stationed on the Big Island.
We're here at what little is left of Highway 11 here in the southern point of the Big Island. You wouldn't know it by looking at it, but this was a major roadway, now completely severed by flash flooding and mudslides.
The U.S. Supreme Court has denied President Trump's latest appeal in the E. Jean Carroll case, Trump asking them to reconsider the $5 million judgment awarded to the veteran New York writer. A Manhattan jury found Trump liable for sexually abusing Carroll in 1996 and defaming her in 2022. The nation of Colombia is in full recovery mode 1 week after being slammed by a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. 300 people have died, 4,000 are injured, and 12,000 buildings are destroyed. Volunteers have set up a food kitchen and are serving thousands of people.
It's actually amazing what our disaster food service professionals can do. They come in with a basic kitchen. And yesterday we were able to serve over, hundreds of lunches. Today we, before lunchtime, had increase that exponentially.
The group is affiliated with the Christian Broadcasting Network. A rare 2,500-year-old marble statue has emerged from the ruins of Sardis, the statue of a 7-foot-tall man. Sardis is an ancient city in western Turkey immortalized in the book of Revelation. It's named as one of the 7 churches in Asia Minor, addressed by Jesus in the last book of the Bible. And the 16-year-old lifeguard whose video went viral of him saving a boy in the waves off a California beach was honored by President Trump today at the Oval Office.
It's been a great thing for your profession, and people are going to respect it even more, respect you even more. So congratulations.
Ryder Williams jumped into the water off Santa Cruz to rescue a 10-year-old boy in trouble. His life was saved. The incident was captured on video and viewed by millions. Donald Trump said he watched it several times, and Ryder is, quote, amazing. The press asked the teen about the incident and what his plans are after high school.
In those dangerous moments that we have, we always try to fall back on our training. We are trained so well by many to handle that situation as best we can. So I really am just thinking about how to get the boy out of the water. For shaping my future, I want to be a firefighter in the future, hopefully go through paramedic school. And
he's off to a good start. We'll give him recommendations.
Honoring a teenager for courage and bravery at the White House. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, it is the first day of school for college kids in New York and Pennsylvania. A top tourist town is under a state of emergency, and 5 members of a family baptized together. Those stories after weather with Kevin Williams.
Here is your Family Life regional weather forecast for tonight. An evening shower thunderstorm. Otherwise, we'll call for patchy clouds. Could be an overnight shower in parts of central New York and the Finger Lakes. Low temperatures, mid-50s to the mid-60s. Some patchy late-night fog. For tomorrow, across New York, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Slight chance of a shower. Mostly sunshine in Pennsylvania. Lower humidity. High temperatures, 70s to near 80. On Wednesday, turning mostly cloudy with showers arriving. Could be a thunderstorm. More humid with high temperatures in the 70s and lower 80s.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the story, making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Here they come. Tens of thousands of college students are arriving back at campuses all around New York and PA. Indiana University went back over the weekend, and the Pennsylvania College of Technology as well. Penn State students have another week of break. At SUNY Binghamton, residential life official Amy Pollock-Drake tells WBNG.
The planning really starts in earnest at the beginning of every calendar year. By the time summer comes around, there's regular meetings to make sure it goes off. And of course, in the days leading up, it's all hands on deck.
Classes begin at SUNY Binghamton tomorrow. One of upstate New York's best known tourist towns is under a state of emergency. Family Life's Mark Webster has the story.
Yeah, Niagara Falls, New York has been under a state of emergency for almost a month. If you didn't know that, you're not alone. City Councilwoman Bridget Miles says she was unaware of the existing state of emergency and is looking into holding a special meeting about it. Niagara Falls Mayor Robert Restaino says the declaration is over concerns about public health and safety because of what he says is inadequate funding by the City Council, complaining that neglected landscaping and crumbling roads aren't being taken care of. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
4 law enforcement officers were left with burns after a Friday standoff in Irondequoit. Police there say 3 officers and a New York State trooper were attempting to take Michael Reck into custody on multiple warrants when he allegedly threw boiling water at them. After a 4-hour standoff, Reck surrendered to police. A new Cornell University study shows incomes are not keeping pace with inflation in the Empire State. Researchers say the purchasing power of New York residents is less today than it was 16 years ago. 7 in 10 New Yorkers cite the cost of living as their biggest problem in the year of 2026. An Adams County, Pennsylvania community is hoping to build its own field of dreams like the one in Iowa that was inspired by the 1989 Kevin Costner movie.
Kids on their screens way too much. So if we can go from a field of screens to a field of dreams like this, it's really good for the community. And we're not just building it for the next generation, it'll be for generations to come. We need more places for kids to get outside with their families, and this kind of environment's perfect.
Ryan Fox is head coach of the Abbottstown Braves, a youth travel baseball team. He's on the committee charged with making the Field of Dreams a reality.
It's a full-size field, so it's going to be 90-foot base paths, 60-foot 6-inch to home plate. It's going to have 360 feet to center, 310 or so to left and right. So it'll be a very playable field.
The baseball diamond will be built in a cornfield in the Cross Keys Community Park in New Oxford, Pennsylvania. There's also plans to host softball games there. Next at 5, a special report from our own Bob Price. The guest, nationally syndicated Christian radio host Cindy Tang. She's written a book called Companions in Faith, 60 devotions on how our pets reflect the heart of God. Let's listen in.
I got a smelly 10-year-old basset hound named Brutus. How can Brutus reflect the heart of God?
Brutus, he forgives you, and sometimes I think, hopefully, maybe he protects you and he gives you unconditional love. And those are the qualities that remind us of how God loves and cares for his children. Now, see, pets don't replace God, but they give us a glimpse of his character in ways that are just simple and very, very relatable.
Yeah. I got to ask, these devotions that you have in this book, Companions in Faith, these pet stories, are these from your own personal experience? Tell me where you got the motivation for this.
Well, first of all, people asked for a devotional because I have between 500 and 800 moving moment stories in general, and people would listen to the 60-second stories, and they're like, can you take a deeper dive into this? And I did. And the pet stories were really the favorites, surprisingly. And so I just took 60 of my pet stories from that library of 500 or 600, and I took them and I expanded on each one. I took a deep dive in each one, and that's how it all came about. And, Bob, we all love our pets. We love our pets. And so it's also a great opportunity for people to talk about the Lord, because the Lord and the pets and devotional, it all can come together. And it's a great witnessing tool as well.
Yeah. You mentioned things like loyalty and love and companionship and some of these intangibles that pets and our Creator have in common. If you could expound on that a little bit about the heart of God in animals.
Sure. Let me talk about God's faithfulness and his unconditional love. God's faithfulness, Bob, it's one of the largest themes in this devotional, because I think our pets give us such a beautiful picture of what faithfulness looks like. For example, Brutus doesn't care. Your dog Brutus doesn't care if you've had a good day or a bad day. He's still waiting at the door.
Yeah.
He still wants to be with you. And when I see that kind of loyalty and faithfulness in our pets, it just reminds me of the faithfulness of God.
You can hear the entire interview with Cindy Tang and all of our Family Life original news features at Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and FamilyLife.org.
Psalm 37:21 says, "The wicked borrow and do not repay, but the righteous give generously." Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. Debt is often treated like a math problem, and in one sense it is. But Scripture reminds us that paying our debts is also a matter of character. When we borrow, we're making a promise. And when we repay what we owe, we're not just protecting our credit score, we're honoring our word and loving our neighbor by not shifting our burden onto someone else. Of course, repayment may take time, but a faithful plan followed with diligence is part of wise stewardship. So, bring your debts before the Lord. Make a plan, keep your commitments, and as God frees up your resources, you'll be freer to give generously. We can help you learn to manage your money according to biblical principles when you download the free FaithFi app. You'll find it on our website at faithfi.com.
Finally, at 5, a church in the Southern Tier baptized 95 people in a single day on Sunday. It happened at Victory Highway Wesleyan Church in Painted Post. Pastor Stephen Dunmeyer.
In the 96 years that Victory has been here, that is the most in a single day. Just an incredible day. I'm still kind of speechless to describe it.
Bruce Morehouse, his wife, and 3 daughters were baptized together, 5 members of the family at the same time.
If you look back on the banks of the pond were just covered with people. And every time somebody was baptized, there was a shout and cheers of joy.
First his wife, then him, then 3 of their girls went under the water.
Just to all be in the water together and experience that was just a dream come true.
Morehouse has a message for anyone on the fence about baptism.
It's life-changing. So many people I've known have come to the Lord, and to see the change in some of them is just so dramatic. How people act, how they behave, how they treat others, and ultimately to one day enter into glory with Jesus and know your final resting place.
A family of 5 baptized together with Victory Highway Wesleyan Church, part of 95 making the commitment that they are all in for Jesus in Painted Post, New York. And that's the world that we live in for Monday, the 17th of August. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is Family Life News.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.